Hello and welcome to part 117 of Let's Play Dangan Ronpa. When we left off... Oh, you're fucking with me. I just literally got that working. When we left off, we just started the investigation into Ugami's murder. That was 2 days ago. I do apologize. I had to go and sort out A-level stuff. Alright, victim Sakura Ugami, time of death approximately 12 PM. Now, of course, do we know that this is 12 in the afternoon? Like, is it 12 in the middle of the day or 12 in the middle of the night? I'm assuming in the middle of the day. The corpse was discovered in the recreation room on the 3rd floor of the school zone. The victim appears to have been struck over the head with great force. Aside from that, there were no other obvious external wounds. Additionally, the victim has vomited a considerable amount of blood. Load Monocuma file number 4 into your Electro ID. You can find it in the ammunition menu. This case is probably going to be a tough one. What makes you say that? The only entrance to the rec room is the door we came in through. Furthermore, the door was blocked from the inside by a chair, making it unopenable. That begs the question. After sealing the door of the chair, how did the culprit escape the room? I see. So, the only door was sealed from the inside and entry was impossible until I broke the glass. Meaning there was no way out. In short, this was a sealed room murder. A sealed room murder? Yeah, sure, this sort of stuff happens on TV and in manga all the time. But in real life and right here, right before my very eyes. While we're on the subject, would you like me to go into a bit more detail about sealed room murders? Please, I'd appreciate that. Sealed room murders can be, by and large, divided into 4 major categories. Category 1, a sealed room constructed from the outside after the crime has been committed. To commit a murder, the culprit uses some sort of trick to seal the room. This typically involves them setting the lock from the outside somehow. The possibilities are endless. It could be something primitive like a string or a pulley, or something more complex and mechanical. Some sort of trick with a lock, huh? I'll have to go give the door a good look over later. Category 2, a sealed room that already existed before the murder occurred. Existed before the murder? Basically, the culprit uses some tool or method to target the victim from outside the sealed room. Something like a remote-activated gun or firing arrows through the crack in the door. However, this case probably doesn't fit into that category. Not only aren't there any guns or archery equipment in the school, the door doesn't seem to have that wide a space. Shows a point, it's probably safe to cross that one off the list. And then, category 3, the culprit is inside the sealed room when the seal is broken. So they're hidden inside somewhere? They take advantage of the confusion to slip into the crowd acting like they just showed up, and that's how they get away with it. That seems reasonably plausible. The 4th and final category, it was never a sealed room to begin with. Never a sealed room? In other words, the room has a secret passage or something in it some way for the culprit to escape. Mysteries falling into this category show up in novels a lot, but in reality it's highly improbable. But it's probably safe to assume that we can cross it off the list, yes. And that concludes my lecture on sealed rooms. I think I get it. So there are 4 major categories of sealed room murders. Sakura, which category do you think this murder falls under? Good question. I imagine that will be a big point of discussion during the class trial. However, at this stage it's hard to say. How do the culprit construct the sealed room? We'll need to figure that out if we're going to reach the truth behind Ugami's death. She was right, this is going to be a tough mystery. I need to focus on my investigation, not just for me but for Ugami. Alrighty then. So, has anyone else noticed like the shortness of the skirts in this? Like every single one except for Fuqua's. What do you want? Go play over there and stay out of my way. Scorn in his eyes is likely to burn a hole in my soul if I don't get out of here and quick. Yes? I'm surprised someone even managed to kill Ugami. She's certainly not the kind of person who would go down easily. It most definitely would not have been easy. She was a super duper high school fighter, both her body and her spirit were extremely tenacious. So how did the culprit manage to kill her? Or could they have it all? Maybe they caught her by surprise? Taking her by surprise is probably the only way you could kill her. I already know who did it. Tagami, Fukuara, Hagakure. One of those three. Yeah, that's like saying you already knew who did the first murder. It was maybe Asahina, Ogami, Kaguri, Hagakure, Tagami, Fukuara, Kawata, Mondo, and then just listing off everyone. It's not... You know the possibilities, you don't know who did it, otherwise you'd be able to say one name. I mean, they all acted like Sakura was the bad guy. You think so too, don't you, Nagi? Well, I can't really say either way until I've done a little more investigation. Then let me tell you this. Sakura asked all three of them to meet her here in the rec room. What? This morning, after you brought me to the infirmary, you know me and Sakura left together, right? Well, after that, she ended up going off somewhere by herself. But later on, I saw her again, and that's when she told me that she had left notes in all of their rooms. The note said, come to the recreation room before lunch. Before lunch, her time of death was around noon. It's true, she told me herself. I tried to stop her, but she wouldn't listen. She said they were just going to talk and that I didn't need to worry, and yet this happened. If I had just forced her not to come, none of this would have happened. Asahina, telling her not to blame herself, is probably asking the impossible. Loaded Asahina's testimony into your electro ID, you can find it in the ammunition menu. But to think that Tagami, Hagakure, and Fukuwa were all summoned here by Ugami, here to the scene of crime just before noon when she was murdered, I should probably try and corroborate her testimony with the three of them. Alright, so let's go back to Tagami then. What do you have to say? What do you want? Don't get in my way. I've got a question for you, Tagami. Make it fast. Is it true that you received an invitation from Ugami to come to the rec room? Ah, so you know about that. Then it's true? Yes, a note to that effect was left under my bedroom door. Who the hell would be stupid enough to just waltz on in and let that monster kill them? You didn't go? Of course not. I tore up the note and threw it away. I made no contact with Ugami whatsoever today. He says he didn't come to the rec room. But is he telling the truth? I don't have any evidence to claim otherwise though, so I just have to believe him for now. If you're done, then get out of my sight. Yeah, thanks. Loaded Tagami's testimony into your electro ID. You can find it in the ammunition menu. Alright, so first of all, let's... Oh. Everything's navigated wrong again. There's a pool of blood on the floor in front of the magazine rack. I'm sure it must be Ogami's blood. Something feels off about it. Why is it so far away from the body? Loaded magazine rack blood stain into your electro ID. You can find it in the ammunition menu. I'm going to stop saying that from now on. It's a magazine rack. There are all different kinds of magazines here. Hold on. No, no, no. Oh, so that's linked to the... Yeah, I can't get to that. That means I can't get to click on this. Thank you very much. Oh, so I can't get to click on the other thing. This looks like a wrapper of some sort. Hey, Yvette. Recognize this Asahina? Well, yeah, I gave it to her. It's a candy wrapper. You remember how mad Sakura was when Jen decided to scratch me up? While trying to calm her down, I gave her some right after we left the infirmary. The wrapper from the candy you gave Ugami. The candy had been in the dormitory storeroom. I love it so much. But as soon as the storeroom opened, I took the whole box back to my room, so no one else could have gotten any. You like it bad much? I wanted Sakura to taste it too, that's why I gave her some. But now she'll never taste it again. Asahina, for God's sake. Alright. Alright, so... It's a billiards table, I better leave this alone for someone. Yeah. With 4 red bottles lined up on the cabinet. Each of the bottles has a Monokuma figure inside. How the heck did the figures get inside those bottles anyway? Same idea as an impossible bottle. Huh? Where you put something, say a model sailboat, into a bottle with a mouth smaller than the object. You never seen anything like that before? Oh, I think I have. This is the Monokuma version. We can call them Monokuma bottles. Okie dokie. But weren't there... Alright, so what class... Alright, I've clicked on pretty much everything except for Ugami's body. Ugami spent her last breath here slumped forward on this couch. As I recall, she was struck over the head. Normally we would expect that to be the cause of death, but the Monokuma file also mentioned that she had vomited blood. This is indeed blood on her mouth. But exactly what caused her to vomit? The Monokuma file says that, aside from the wounds on her head, there aren't any other external wounds. Maybe the blows to her head caused her to vomit blood? Yeah, right. Tagami? I will say, though, you've taken notice of something absolutely fascinating. Not bad. Fascinating? Do you not think so? I wouldn't call it fascinating, but curious, maybe. There's no question the reason she vomited blood has something to do with her death. Alright. Oh god dang it. There are shards of glass scattered on the floor around the chair Ugami is sitting in. The glass is red, and look at this. That's the neck of the bottle, and there's the bottom of one. So basically that means these shards used to be a glass bottle. Loaded shards into your Electro ID. You can find it in the ammunition menu. There's something else on the floor next to the glass. A single figure this small and fit in the palm of my hand. A Monokuma figure. I'm slowly starting to piece things together. The Monokuma bottles on the cabinet. The Monokuma figure on the floor. The red fragments of glass on the floor that I suspect used to be a bottle. Putting two and two together, it looks like Ugami was hit over the head with one of these Monokuma bottles. At least that's what the Monokuma figure on the floor suggests. In other words, it's very well possible the murder weapon was a Monokuma bottle. Alright. So, that's that. Then, I need to click on this. So, although it's only been a short episode, I'm going to end it here. And I'm going to go and mess around with some things for you guys. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do another episode once I've clicked on the glass shards of the door. So, that is on the top right, previous is on the top left, and until next time folks, see ya.